Actually, we are a landscape architects studio based on Budapest, and we are very happy to have the possibility to present our project, this community-based reinvention of Teleki Square. This is a part of a bigger rehabilitation where two other squares are rehabilitated in the A district in Budapest, but this is the only one which is based on participatory planning. The site and the district is located in the middle of Budapest, and the inner part of the district, which is here, it's quite belongs to the inner city centers, but the other part of the district has a lot of social and environmental problem. This has another characteristic than the inner part. The Teleki Square is this area, and our planning site was this park. The square is divided by a tram. The other side is a market, which you will see it's historically remained here. And this area, what we had to turn to a vital neighborhood center. The task was very difficult because, and it's still going on, because this is a ill reputed crime-ridden and functionless area right now. As you see, it's a huge waste area without functions. The former functions were almost destroyed. There was a playground here before, even a pond, but we don't even have the clues of them. Moreover, there is a bigger problem that the use of this square is very unattractive, and almost only homeless people use this area, and addicted people using drugs, for example, as you see here in the picture. There's a hypo stacked in the bench, so it has a lot of problems, this area, and we had to solve all of these with involving the habitants. This is how we started with this flyer. The first topic was to invite the people and involve as much people as possible. So we did a job on the street, and we gave to the people these. We went to the shops, we put on the walls of the houses, but also we invited schools, NGOs, given the address by the local government. We presented a timetable, a schedule as well. Our purpose was to make a real planning process as we do in our office. So we built up the schedule with the different steps of planning, making a brainstorming, defining the concept, make sketches concerning about the details, and then present as well the project. This was our main principle, how to deal with this process and how to think about the people. We wanted them to not only to be only single people and to have a forum only for the inhabitants, but we wanted them to form a real group, and the sole idea is to make one common concept. And this is the second time when we went out to the square. We met at the old ping pong table, which is probably the only existing equipment on the site, and we discussed the site, what are the main topics, and after that we had these plastic boards, and people had the possibility to write on their wishes, their dreams about the square, what they want to have here, and during this we put after to the trees on the site, because we wanted really to show to the other people who didn't participate in this process that something is going on, and the Teleki Square will be changed soon. Here are some samples. Of course, they wanted basic elements like benches, fountain, playground, but the security question was very essential here because of the security problems that I mentioned. So they wanted fence, camera system, and even a park keeper. This is the second step, the brainstorming that we did together. We assumed on the site plan the different wishes and dreams. Of course, there were many sort of wishes, sometimes realistic, sometimes not so much, and sometimes will be probably realizing later. Actually, this is the area on the plan. Its shape is like a heart, which was realized by one of the inhabitants, and after that we will see that it was becoming a part of the concept. And after that we discussed the rich and colorful history of the Teleki Square. Since the beginning of the 19th century, there was a fairground here. Till 100 years, kettles, poulters, furnitures were sold here, and it was a very colorful and busy center of this neighborhood. After this fairground, the used goods were sold here for 50 years, so still was a kind of market here. And since this market moved from here, then the park turned to the picture what we saw before. It became the half part park, and the other remained as a market. The name of the square was before Cattle Market Square because of its function, and got the name after the name of a very significant politician who lived in the 19th century called László Teleki. And he's important because his policy was a kind of synonymous in many ways to the inclusiveness and multiculturalism. He advocated for the rights of the minority nationalities in 19th century, which was not so typical in that time. And even these notions didn't exist, but his work is still very current in our days. So this was an important message for us to remind. So after knowing the past and knowing the images, we try to make a concept which reflects to the past with the values, but we wanted to make a contemporary renewal, not looking backward to the past. So these are the periods of the different ages of the square. As you can see, this was a kind of going up situation, and it was the golden age of the square as it was living and it's the center of the area. But after the 50s, when it turned to a garden, or in the 80s, the conditions has declined. So by the process started, we could see that how is the presenting condition is. These are the main notions that were determining factors in our concept during this brainstorming process: the receptive, tolerance, multicultural, and openness. Even still today, this area, this neighborhood, is quite diverse comparing to the city, to Budapest, which is homogeneous. There are still a lot of immigrants from the Middle East, from Africa, a lot of, there is a significant portion of Roma people, so it's very mixed and very, it has problems, but it's a very exciting area. And we wanted the park to be as a frame for the different activities. We wanted to be it open and to have the possibility to make different actions and different events. So, and this is our dream map, we call it this, with exact functions like playground, resting place, fans, but there were some notions like to be unique, simple but great, only typical for the Teleki Square. So we had to turn reality these words, and of course we helped the inhabitants. They were very enthusiastic, but of course not experts. So we had to give the background from our knowledge. And we always gave lectures for them and presenting some samples. So here you can see this picture that the words are substituted with the pictures for the different functions and different images that we were thinking. And here in details, of course, there will be some more built part of the park. Some of them will be more green and full with plants. And some words about the community-based planning, which was a very important task to realize. These were the participants at the beginning, and almost all the meetings, there were 20, 25 people presenting there. The younger was, she's 6 years old, and the older ladies are about 80 years old. She's Auntie Marika and Terika. They were really cute person. And so we had to start together to work, and we wanted, as I said before, to form the top participants to a real team. So there are some pictures about the planning process. Of course, the real drawing task, it was done by us, but we discussed everything, all the details, all the parts that should be completed. We were discussing the details according to the schedule that it was showed before. And we discussed the details about what kind of benches to use, what about the fence, what about the security, can we have a toilet or not. So we were very practical, very reasonable, and in fact we had to always care about the budget, which was of course not too much, not too big. And it was typical that we were discussing the situations. There were sometimes harder debates, sometimes easier ones, very easy to choose, and sometimes we see on this picture, sometimes we were voting if we couldn't decide something easily. Of course, we had to manage these meetings. We had to be as a host or leading the discussions, but for us even was a surprise how these people could work together and be patient and to be efficient even. So this is what was very typical to the meetings, cooperation, common ground and fun, as you will see on these pictures. It is not a posed picture, but it's a real one. And by the end, we can say that a real group was formed, and people know each other. We meet still together, so by the end, it was really a group. And now some words about the plan. So we had to turn the words into forms and functions, and to arrange spatially. As I said, we draw the plans week by week, and we discussed all the details, how roads are going, how we had to put the different functions, if it's good or not. So doing this development, after a few occasions we went to the site. We meet at the ping pong table again, discussing the details, and then we try to modelize the plan, to present the space and the walkways. And after that, we walked along the line, and Gabor was presenting where will be which function. And after discussing these details and modifying with the notification of the people, we fixed the plan, because it was not only to make a concept plan, but in the meantime it was a construction plan as well, so we had to be very, very precise and exact. And this is the final picture of the plan. Some parts, this is the place for community, for events. There will be a stage here. This is a very important part of the park. There is an auditorium with large stairs, and here there will be a hill for some bathing. There will be a community ornamental garden with flowers, which is maintained by the people. It is the playground. There will be a teenage corner. It's a very serious question and important problem to solve, the dog question, and they produce. So there will be 2 dog parks, and the bigger part will be a shaded resting room, a living place for a future castle, which wanted to be realized this time, but there was no budget for it. Some perspective illustrations about the auditorium, the ornamental garden, and the hilly playground, the playground for smaller children. And these are the details. Probably the Czech people know these elements, the MMCT benches. It's very popular even in Hungary, because they are nice and cheap. Yeah, and that was a very important fact to fit into the budget. So after finalizing the plan, we had to see how can we manage this question. We had 3 options with different contents, with different proposals. For example, one of them had a better quality of the payment, but the other, and there was no so good fence, and the contrary for the others. And actually, of course, this was done by us as well, but it was argued with the people, and they insisted on the fence, on the nice fence. Even it's a bit contradicted that even if we wanted to have an open area, but it must be closed, because there are some experiences from the other parts that the street was renewed, they got new furniture, but it was not protected, so after a while it was destroyed. So they really take care about this square. They really want to be renewed, and they want to keep it to protect in the future. So they insisted on the nice fan. As I said before, it was important for us to make visible, to give a better insight for the project, for the, say, outsiders or the people who didn't enjoy yet. So we made an open-air exhibition on the square. The title, Milyen legyen a telekitér, means what should the telekitér look like? And this was a provocative question to make understand the people that they can tell their opinion. So we presented the meetings week by week. We have a Facebook site, which is very useful, of course. And we made, after the meetings, short movies, 2-minute movies, representing each meetings. So this was something more realistic presentation of the meetings. And this was the final meeting where we presented the plan, presented for the local government, which commissioned, which gave the commission for us. We wanted the inhabitants to participate in the presentation. It was very interesting to see them. We formed groups to help them, and as you see, here was the screen, and everybody participated in the presentation. And here are some pictures about the end of the presentation. We gave a little gift for the inhabitants, for Marikaneni. These were these were chairs for the park, and the local government was presented by the vice mayor, who was really excited and enthusiastic hearing this presentation. So the inhabitants who formed by this time this association for the Teleki Square, fellows for the Teleki Square, they gave a special chair for the vice mayor with their signature. And it was a very, very nice moment because it was visible that there is important, we made an important connection, the inhabitants and with the local government. Actually, as we noticed, the local government, we heard some voices that they were not so appreciated to have this whole process. They were even surprised what is going on here, what happens, because they didn't trust to have the possibility for the neighborhood to decide what will be on the square. But this presentation convinced the vice mayor that this is a very good process. And after this, the local government and even the vice mayor started to support more and more this process. And this was the end of the community planning, and I would give the word to Gábor because he is the member of the presidency in the association, and he can tell some words about the association and the events, what was going on.
Yes, we were thinking in the planning process about creating an association for the Teleki Square, of course from the inhabitants of the Teleki Square. It's because it will be a new park in the square, and a new park is only an empty structure without life, without people. And maybe the new association, an association of the square, can care about the park, about the life, and can organize programs, projects, and parties for the square. And thank you. And when we finished the planning project, we made a garden party on the square, and we could occupy for us the square, and we can present. We are here, and we own this square, and everybody brought foods, cakes, drinks, and there was music. And we could invite every people and trespassers on the square, and we can communicate with them. There will be a new park. There is a new association of the square. Please join to us. And yes, and it was, and it has a very good. It was a very happy party. And the programs, yes, I told, we can communicate with the inhabitants and the people in the closed area. It was a festival in Budapest in September, Platz Festival, and the artists came with 3,000 or 30,000 small red cubics, and it was very spectacular. Everybody could see something happens on this square, and we could communicate again with the people. And the Christmas party was very important for the inhabitants, and some members of the local government were there too. And of course, everybody brought cakes and candles, drinks, mulled wine, and we were singing Christmas songs, and it was really very funny again, and everybody was very happy. And the first Christmas party on the Teleki Square. And the most important connect is for us, for the association, is the local government. At the first time, it was very interesting, our relationship with the local government, because the members from the local government were very formal. They were standing in a suit, and they spoke in very official. But after a time, they were sitting with us at the same table, and they didn't have any suit, only in a shirt, and we could speak about with us each other, and very normally. And it was a very informal relationship. And there was a concrete workshop in this April, and some students make for us the sitting elements and the fireplace in the park. And it is very good, for example, the new design elements in the park, what there were not in our plans. And the construction works have begun from 2 or 3 weeks ago. And you can see now the constructions, and maybe you can see the structures from the plan, can see the walkways and some elements. And yes, we plan a lot of new programs in the future, a lot of seasonal events or thematical programs and concerts, music concert, or for example, programs for the migrants and minorities who live in this quarter. And yes, we hope in the future. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we have a few minutes for your questions, so feel free to ask anything more you would like to know or comment. Okay.
Hi, thank you very much for an interesting presentation. I would like to ask who was the initiator of the whole process? Maybe I was not paying a good attention, but it was surprising for me that you started the whole process. You mentioned you had some budget, and then actually the city representation was surprised what's going on there. So just if you can mention a few words.
Yeah, this is an interesting story, because the initiator was, of course, the local government, and we were commissioned by them. But actually there was a connection with them in the past few years in little projects, in other projects which were a bit similar to this one, where we involved the people to artistic projects or even inner courtyards renovation. So we had connection with them before, and actually it was initiated this demand to make this a community-based planning by one person who works for the local government. It is a reputation company. He's an architect. He knows what is going on in the world, and we had this connection with him. So this is how this started to work, and by the end we could see that this will be the demand. But actually, what the local government knew, they were thinking that this will be only some occasions of forums, which happens happened already in the district, that people can come and to see what is going on and tell their opinion, but they didn't believe that it will be so open and the people had more possibilities to tell what they want.
Thank you. We have time for maybe one more short question, if there is such. Okay.
Who were the people who joined your project, the ordinary inhabitants, or how did you choose them? Thank you.
That's a good question, because people always ask this. They were only habitants, even if we invited NGOs or schools to participate in this project. We wanted to be well-known and open to everyone, but basically people who live around the square came. And actually we think that even if the people were not too represented, or the participants were basically only the habitants, we think that this was a good solution for right now, because these were the people who really took care about this project and who were expecting these changes, because they lived there, they saw the square for decades, and they want really something to change. So they were very enthusiastic, efficient during this process. So I think this group was quite well organized.